Hello and welcome everyone to our Transgender Day of Remembrance 2020 Name Reading. My name is Gustavo Mercado Muniz. I'm the Transgender Program Coordinator at the Pride Center of Vermont, and we are here today to celebrate TDOR'. TDOR' is a day for the trans community and everyone at large to come together and honor those trans folks who have been killed in the last year. With that, we host this name reading. In normal times, we would do it in person and be together for this, but for this year, we've improvised and we're doing a video form. Our staff, some of our board members, and some community volunteers have come together to read through a list that was compiled of all of the transgender people who have been killed since the last Transgender Day of Remembrance in 2019. With that said, I want to honor a few things. The first is that Black, Indigenous, and people of color who were trans make up the majority of the list every single year. And that is both on a global level as well as within the United States. And I say that to remind us all that the people we need to be centering the most are transgender people who are Black, Indigenous, and/or people of color. We need to make sure that these are the people who are at the center of our advocacy and of our care and support. With that, I also want to honor that not every trans person who was killed or who died since the last Transgender Day of Remembrance is on this list, and that's for a variety of reasons. It starts with the fact that some people don't report the murders or deaths of transgender people to authorities, and so there are no ways to track them. It also follows that some blood families will not reveal that their loved one who passed away was transgender, and they will hide that from the record. And the other thing that we know is that not everyone gets to be out as transgender before they die. And we hope, we pray, we work, we fight towards a future where every transgender person and everyone who identifies under the transgender umbrella can live as their full selves without fear of death, can live as their full selves from the moment that they come to the realization of who they are, without fear, without judgment, without barriers. And so with that, we want to take a moment to honor that some of the trans folks who passed away last year won't be on this list or will not be named. And we take all of those people in our hearts and we honor them as well. I also want to say that all of these names are being read with as much care, love, respect, honor, and dignity as every single one of the people who will be reading the names was able to provide. We might not get every single name right, and we apologize from the bottom of our hearts for that to all of those folks who passed away who are listening, and we will do our utmost to make sure that you feel loved and respected regardless. And we honor that your names are beautiful and wonderful and deserve that respect as well. We also want to honor every single one of these people as transgender and as the gender they identified by, regardless of if we know it or not. A lot of these folks will not be celebrated as their whole selves, will not be honored as their whole selves in whatever going away functions are put together for them by blood family or by the state. And so we take moments throughout our day to day to honor these people as who they are. I also, last but not least, want to say that you will hear things like unnamed, no name, or anonymous come up throughout the list. This is because it is an unfortunate reality that a lot of transgender people who are found murdered are not identified by people who loved and cared for them. And so while we may not have a name for them, we want to hold space for them in our celebration and our honoring of those who came before us. And lastly, I want to say thank you to all of the transgender people who are watching this, to all of the transgender people who are living and fighting today, and to all of the transgender people who today just need to cry or who today just need a hug. I'm sending it virtually if I can't give it to you in person. So as I do every year, I would like to start us off by reading a poem called The Imprecatory Prayer to the Transcestors. To me and to a lot of trans folks who know it, this is a call to all of those trans folks who have come before us, who might not be related to us by blood, but are definitely our ancestors by experience and by spirit. And I want to call them in and remind them that we are here for them, and we also invite them to be here for those who are joining them or who have joined them recently in the past year. Imprecatory prayer to the transcestors. To the trans ancestors and elders who have guided us here, we honor your legacy with new celebrations. May our bodies persist, let them shine whole and well. May our minds calibrate to the call of the universe. Let our protest songs transfigure to peace hymns. Let our cultural knowledge produce nourishment. May our homes bustle warm with abundant love. May our communities flourish despite borders. Let our love quake open any lingering shackle. Let our joy obliterate any festering contempt. As we bind each other closer, we manifest futures more possible. One thing that stands out to me from that poem is that joy, that love, that community care, that nourishment that they talk about, those peace hymns that we want to transform into, are aspirations, and we also practice that by fighting for the lives of transgender people every day, by fighting for the lives of Black people in our lives and outside of our lives every day, by fighting for the rights and the protections for Indigenous people every day, by fighting for people of color every day, and by continuing to push against systems that were built to exclude, that were built to profit, and that were built to end the lives of Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and also trans and queer people. And so with that, I would like to start our name reading off myself. Unnamed, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Unnamed, Curitiba, Brazil. Unnamed, Patos, Brazil. Paola Araujo, Teresina, Brazil. Ronnie Gonçalves, Goiânia, Brazil. Soledad Fernández, San Japita, Paraguay. Michelle Almeida, União dos Palmares, Brasil. La Diva, Guaduas de Cundinamarca, Colombia. Vidalia Molina Delgado, Mazatenango, Guatemala. Julia Sobral, Brasil. Débora Serranza, San Pedro Sula, Honduras. Hamza, Hyderabad, India. Romanik, Curitiba, Brazil. Michelle Pfeiffer, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Lorena Vicente, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brianna B.B. Hill, Kansas City, United States. Lina Marcela Jiménez Granados, Bucaramanga, Colombia. I.D. da Silva, Petrolina, Brasil. Unnamed, Ciudad Juárez, México. Chicho Chirrinos, La Plata, Argentina. Anahi Miranda Riveras, San Salvador, El Salvador. Bruna, Salvador, Brasil. Bruna Soares, São Mateus, Brasil.
Unnamed, Jacona, Mexico. Unnamed, Juiz de Fora, Brazil. Unnamed, Chihuahua, Mexico. Paula Santos, Jiquí, Brazil. Jade Camila Diaz, Manguera del Golfo, El Salvador. Brigitte Miron, La Gomera, Guatemala. Pedrita Ribeiro Prieto, Brazil. Daphne Kwan, Recife, Brazil. Michelle N. Zihuatanejo, Mexico. Giselle Corvalán, Santiago de Estero, Argentina. Monica de la Torre, Martinez de la Torre, Mexico. Jerica Rivas Ruiz, Bogota, Colombia. Victoria Pineda, Departamento de Auchapan, El Salvador. La Pampas, Restrepo Val, Colombia. Sarita Manaus, Brazil. Pedrita São Miguel dos Campos, Brazil. Carol Extremos, Brazil. Coral, Mexico City, Mexico. Rafaela Sales, Linares, Brazil. Isabelle Prado, Tremande, Brazil. Monica Colo, Vilhena, Brazil.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Small, and I'm the Director of the Health and Wellness Program at Pride Center of Vermont. And on this Trans Day of Remembrance, I ask you to hold and honor the names that I'm about to read and understand that trans people, gender nonconforming, and non-binary people are still fighting for a fair and just world, one in which we can thrive within our identities and be celebrated for our identities. I ask you to love the trans, gender nonconforming, and non-binary siblings in your life and show love so that we can see a future in which we are all existing and we are all thriving. Now I will read just some of the names that we have lost this year. Alejandra, Mexico. No Name, Mexico. Rosa Granados, El Salvador. No Name, Mexico. Mufa Alava, Ecuador. E.L., Sweden. Nicole, Brazil. Marcel Brandina, Brazil. Veronica de Oliveira, Brazil. Lorana Martínez dos Santos, Brazil. Nikki Kuhnhausen, Canada. No Name, Mexico. Yahira Nesby, United States. Christy Conde Vasquez, El Salvador. Kendall, Colombia. No Name, Canada. Andrea Nahili, Mexico. Julie Berman, Canada. Luciana Robledo, Argentina. Alice Nobrega, Brazil. Mia Perry, United States. Eli Pimentel, Brazil. Dustin Parker, United States.
Nari Mfela, South Africa. Jennifer Avila, Guatemala. Selena Peixoto, Brazil. Sapna, India. Unnamed, Mexico. Andressa, Brazil. Vitoria dos Santos, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Hans Acevedo, Guatemala. Brenda Landazuri, Colombia. Giselle Katrine, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Husara Rios, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Tamara, Russia. Paulina, Brazil. Unnamed, Venezuela. Kimberly McRae, Australia. Unnamed, Mexico. Brigitte Michelle Alas, El Salvador. Fabiola, Brazil. Ana Clara Lima, Brazil. Unnamed, El Salvador. Ajita Bujel, Nepal.
Hilary Medina, Colombia. Leticia, Brazil. Morgana Ribeiro, Brazil. No name, Colombia. Shakira, Mexico. No name, Brazil. Bruna Oliveira, Brazil. Marie de Pastos Lima, Brazil. No name, Mexico. Widyala Brenner Derac, Brazil. Roberta Barbaya, Argentina. Isabel Coast, Brazil. No name, Mexico. Samantha Dovalle, Brazil. Guadalupe, Mexico. Joyce Berlim, Brazil. Doretta Lopez Leal, Brazil. Mimbala del Aguila, Peru. Sabrina Sampaio, Brazil. Valera, Russia. Nicole, Mexico.
Tabitha Oliveira Bless, Brazil. Mamta, India. Nanan, Brazil. Katerina Ariel, Brazil. No name, Brazil. Isabel Oliveira, Brazil. Monique Mateus Chagas, Brazil. Bruna Carla, Brazil. Shirley Silva, Brazil. No name, Mexico. Lara Argento, Italy. Gabby, Brazil. Gabriele Vanderguel, Brazil. Jessica Sarmiento, France. Bruna Andrade, Brazil. Maria Eduarda Arias Diaz, Brazil. No name, Brazil. No name, Brazil. Machakis Atocha, Mexico. Ali Mameni Humani, Peru. Mino
India. Alexis Fierez Piera, Brazil. To my trans family, I love you. And I celebrate you. While this is a day of remembrance, it's also a day to celebrate life. For all those that we've lost, for all those that was taken from us, their spirit still lives on. And each and every one of us that wants to carry the name of memory. For those that are still here, still fighting, still living their life as a true self, keep doing it. Because it's sad to say it could all be over in an instant. I want you here. I'm confident other people want you here. Your community wants you here. I love you.
Hello. We are gathering today in honor of our transgender family, and I thank you for allowing me to read these names. It is a true honor to me. Carly Sasha Chinina Palomo, Argentina. Patsy Andrea, Mexico. Tita, El Salvador. Colonel Guerrero, Mexico. Telita, Brazil. Ludmila Nascimento dos Santos, Brazil. Isadora, Brazil. Name unknown, Mexico. Name unknown, Brazil. Stephanie Cardona Matias, Guatemala. Valeria Belim, Brazil. Name unknown, Mexico. Vihi, India. Monica Diamond, USA. Rafinha Pimenta, Brazil. Brittany, Mexico. Paloma, Brazil. La Marquesa, Mexico. Kelly, Brazil. Daniela Soqueda, Mexico. Carla Valentina, Mexico. Thank you.
To those who are no longer with us, you will not be forgotten. Our community will live and fight in your honor to ensure that your trans siblings can live our lives freely and safely as the beautiful people we are. Naomi Nicole La Soñare, Mexico City, Mexico. Unnamed, Cariacica, Brazil. Lexi, New York City. Unnamed, El Zapote, Mexico. Unnamed, Chihuahua, Mexico. Luisa Sandoval Lemus, Puerto Barrios, Guatemala. Jennifer Alcantara, Dorados, Brazil. Fabiola Pedreira Andrade, Jacuí, Brazil. Haika França, Cadencia, Brazil. Musa, Faisalabad, Pakistan. Jota F. do Nascimento Martins, Bayu, Brazil. Mira, Jakarta, Indonesia. Unnamed, Ilius, Brazil. Unnamed, Pirapora, Brazil. Sasha Santos, Aracaju, Brazil. Ana Karen Velasco Castellan, Veracruz, Mexico. Johanna Metzger, Baltimore. Luana Alves, Maje, Brazil. Unnamed, Veracruz, Mexico. Leica de Baral, Patos, Brazil.
Palamo Salas Jimenez, Colombia. Mayfer Marbella Santos, Guatemala. No name, Mexico. Leticia, Brazil. Oscar, Mexico. Eduarda, Brazil. No name, Brazil. Leto, Brazil. MD Alberto, Argentina. Natasha Labado, Brazil. Diamante, Mexico. Marianne Androelli, Brazil. Jade dos Santos, Brazil. Fernanda de Souza Paiva, Brazil. Nina Pop, Sykeston, USA. No name, Brazil. Luz Clara, Honduras.
Helly J. O'Regan, United States. Teresa C., Mexico. Fabia Oliveira, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Hera Was, Pakistan. Jane Thompson, United States. Unnamed, Mexico. Unnamed, Brazil. Robertina Santos, Brazil. Harini, India. Paula, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Jesusa Fidel Ventura Reyes, Mexico. Unnamed, Brazil. Carlota, Nicaragua. Tony McDade, United States. Crislabe de Manuas, Brazil. Alejandra Manocuco, Colombia. Michael, Mexico.
Hi, I wanted to offer a message of hope and courage and appreciation, and acknowledge the phenomenal trans folks that I know, to appreciate and celebrate the magic, the power, and the strength, also in the community as a whole. I'm always profoundly touched when I have the good fortune and honor to see someone truly express themselves. And I just wanted to say that all of you and all of us are what makes this world light for me. Sending positive energy and lots of love, lots of hope, and lots of joy for everyone.
Fernanda Antelo, Santa Cruz, Bolivia. Selena Reyes Hernandez, Chicago, USA. Valentina Ferretti, Salamanca, Guanajuato, Mexico. Brampula, Porto Velho, Brazil. Kela Núñez, Barra de Santa Rosa, Brazil. Luani Kel, Camosim, Brazil. Ria Milton, Ohio, USA. Dominique Remy Fells, Philadelphia, USA. Ketlin, Salvatore, Brazil. Essie Granlund, Vanta, Finland. Ariadna Ojeda, Santa Marta, Colombia. Brian Egypt Powers, Ohio, USA. Carolina, Annapolis, Brazil. Ariadna, Santa Marta, Colombia. Brandy Carolina Brown, Barranquilla, Colombia. Marcia Choquena Bastos da Silva, Maricá, Brazil. Aisu Mamadli, Baku, Azerbaijan. M. R. Saravia, Villanueva, Honduras. Unnamed, Teresina, Brazil. Babalu, Pacajus, Brazil. Brayla Stone, Little Rock, USA. Anel Valenzuela, 14, Mexico.
Bree Black, Florida. Yandra Caroni Santos, Santo Amaro de Purificacao, Brazil. Matias Lopez Mejia, Circassia, Colombia. Summer Taylor, Seattle, Washington. Unnamed, Medellin, Colombia. Kaushik Sunil Narayankar, Mumbai, India. Carol Eloterio de Silva, Sobral, Brazil. Scarlett Caceres, Tegucigalpa, Honduras. Crystal Romero Matos, El Porvenir, Peru. Soraya Oliveira, Fortaleza, Brazil. Marilyn Cazares, Brawley, USA. Lady Gaga, Recife, Brazil. Marceli Souza, Corvisario, Brazil. Fernanda Machado, Rio Branco, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Aileen Catalina, Medellin, Colombia. Veronica Ferraria, Lima. Londrina, Brazil. Mercy Mack, Dallas, Texas. Shockey Peters, Amity City, Louisiana. Vicky Dos Santos, Ito, Brazil. Vida Borges de Mello, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Trans Day of Remembrance, for me, means loving the trans people in your life out loud right now.
Tiffany Alve Madero, Recife, Brazil. Leona Viana, Brazil. Bom Bom, Natal, Brazil. Rihanna Mabley Spanik, Iguato, Brazil. Manuela de Cassia, Milan, Italy. Stephanie Dior, Roma, Italy. Pablo Ivan F., Zamora, Michoacan, Mexico. Monique Martinez, Comaguala, Honduras. Exxon Viles, Provincia de La Rio, Ecuador. Tiffany Harris, New York, USA. Dorothy Balbino de Lima, Capora, Brazil. Keisha D. Hardy, Baton Rouge, USA. Denise Torres, Minatillon, Mexico. Crystal Lopez, La Ceiba, Honduras. Aja Raquel Ron Spears, Portland, USA. Rayan Rodriguez Doré, Sinop, Brazil. Jocelyn, Guatemala City, Guatemala. Unnamed, Fortaleza, Brazil. Brenda Venegas Equipa, Lima, Peru. Luisa Avila Heno, Buga, Colombia. To all folks we're remembering today, may you rest in power.
No Name, Brazil. No Name, Brazil. Samira, Brazil. Paloma, Brazil. No Name, Brazil. Alice Garefa, Brazil. Bridget, Mexico. Leticia Costa, Brazil. Vanessa Solerano, Argentina. Key Sam, USA. Barbara Ellen, Brazil. Samantha Rosales Barrios, Mexico. Anushka, India. Bhavani, India. Francesca Galatro, Italy. Emily Taylor, Brazil. Pia, Pakistan. Danny Rodriguez, Brazil. Patricia Dunmount, Colombia. Julie Torres, Mexico.
Claudina Leite, Brazil. Sending so much gratitude and love to all the people whose names I just read today for the love, beauty, and light that they brought into this world while they were still with us. And just sending so much love to everyone in the trans community every day, but today especially.
Bernadette, Brazil. Lorena Maria de Lujan, Raquel, Argentina. Luara Redfield, Brazil. No name, Argentina. Isabella Pedroso, Brazil. No name, Mexico. Nguri, Pakistan. No name, Brazil. Brittany Jacqueline, Mexico. Brandy Cortez, Mexico. No name, Mexico. Janine Huerta Lopez, Mexico. Nida Chowdhury, Pakistan. Veronica Aldama, Brazil. Melody Barrera, Argentina. Brenda Levi, Peru. No name, Mexico. Maria Rodriguez, Mexico. Chiara Duarte, Brazil.
Catherine Rosemary Duvall, El Salvador. Gabriela Cruz Pimentel, Peru. Ekta Joshi, India. Leslie Alejandra Ferretti, Mexico. Giovanna Perez, Brazil. Kathleen Aviles, Philippines. B. E. Alvarez Hernandez, Colombia. Gul Parana, Pakistan. Saad, Pakistan. Nem, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Susana Criado Anton, Spain. Shadiel Santos, Brazil. Unnamed, Mexico. Barbie Macon, Brazil. Unnamed, Brazil. Erin Burnett, United States. AV, Dominican Republic. Brenda Sanchez, Argentina. Juliana Geraldo Diaz, Colombia. Sandra Beatriz Rangel, Brazil. Francesca Cornejo, Argentina. Mia Green, United States. Reza, Brazil. Donna Niera, Philippines. Michelle, Brazil.
And to end our video, I will be reading the names of those transgender people who were killed back home for me in Puerto Rico. It felt especially important for me to read these names as somebody who shares a place of birth with them, as well as somebody who's been tied into all of this news as it's happened. And a todas mis hermanas puertorriqueñas que estén escuchando o que vean este video o que me oigan desde el más allá, les envío amor y apoyo y cariño. Alexa Negrón Luciano, Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. Jampi Méndez Arocho, Moca, Puerto Rico. Penélope Díaz Ramírez, Bayamón, Puerto Rico. Serena Angelique Velázquez, Humacao, Puerto Rico. Laila Peláez, Humacao, Puerto Rico. Micheline Ramos Vargas, San Germán, Puerto Rico. I want to end with a moment of silence for all of those folks who we named, all of the folks we didn't get to name, and all of the trans folks who have passed away, also of natural causes in the last year, both in our community locally and in our community as trans folks of the world. May they get rest. May they find love And may all those of us who are still here and still alive and kicking get to live out our dreams. May all of the Black trans folks fighting for their lives not have to fight for much longer. May all of the Indigenous folks who may identify as trans or may not get to live out their wildest dreams as well, and again not have to fight for their place in a world that continues to try to erase them. May all of the trans folks of color who continue to fight their communities just to be considered valid and existing, be able to put that down soon. And for all of us trans folks in general in the world who are having a hard day or have had a hard weekend, I want to say thank you for existing. Thank you for living. It's what all the folks who have passed would want us to do. And lastly, I want to thank everyone for your patience in this video being a little bit late and not being on Trans Day of Remembrance itself. I know it's coming out on Monday, but we wanted to make sure that the folks whose names were read today could feel as honored as possible without the videos being rushed. And we wanted to make sure that we got it right this year, especially because it's such a difficult year in general. So to all the trans folks out there, I see you, I love you. As one of you, I'm here for you. Please reach out to me in my work capacity if there are any ways that I or the Pride Center can support you. And please reach out to the people in your lives who support and care for you to ask for what you need. And to all the cis folks watching, I'm very grateful for you taking this time, and I will be more grateful for you to reach out to the trans folks in your lives and offer support, offer love, offer care, and don't expect anything in return. Thank you so much to all of you for watching.